Hello. Did you know that your 40s could be some of your most exciting years ever? Stay with me.
Dancing through the night, stronger, bolder, moving with grace, owning her story, she's setting the pace. Step by step, she's breaking the chains, living her life, she's changing the game. Power and beauty, rhythm and soul, African woman, she's taking control.
Hello. Welcome back to my podcast in her 40s, Unleashing the Dynamite Experience. You're welcome. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're an oldie, welcome once again. Welcome back, as they say. So if you're new here, welcome. This is a community where we just share our thoughts, ideas, experiences, what we've learned from them, how it's shaping us, basically just connecting the dots in our life and trying to create a more rewarding present and a more rewarding future. So for me, my personal goal is trying to be better every day, trying to be a better version of myself every day, which means that I have to work on myself every day, which means I have to be intentional about myself every day. It's not easy, but it's work in progress. So yeah, that's why I decided to share this journey, because I know that I'm not the only one struggling with this. Neither am I the only one trying to figure things out for myself. So if I share, other people can relate to it. At the same time, it helps me as well. Because sometimes when you speak, you can process your thoughts better. And that's what has happened for me. So yeah, like I said, welcome. We're being honest here. We're being vulnerable. We're not trying to fake it. There's no point in the faking it anymore. It's just accepting and owning who you are as a person. And that requires sometimes even embracing your flaws. And I put it in quotes because sometimes those things that you might see as flaws might not necessarily be so. They might actually be helping you in certain regards or saving you from certain things. So yeah, it works. Today, I think I want to talk about something that is very dear to me, and that's emotional intelligence. And the reason why, I'm usually very chilled as a person. Yeah, chilled ish. Does not mean I'm not animated and spicy, but I'm usually very chilled as a person. I rarely, would I say, react to stuff. And don't get me wrong, of course, it's not because I don't feel things or that I'm not emotional, but it's just that I like to sort of process my thoughts. And I think the older I've gotten, the more I've realized that I have to process my thoughts so that when I'm communicating my maybe grievance or whatever it is, I'm clear about what it is that I didn't like or what it is that made me feel the way I felt. And so sometimes people might see that as, oh, you are saying it, you are you are breaking it down as if you're a lawyer or you're speaking, those kind, because I can itemize my thoughts and say, okay, you know what, this is what you did and this is what it did to me. This is how I felt it. So it's almost like I'm already coming with my itinerary itemized. So sometimes that might make it seem less emotional because you're not necessarily getting the emotion from me that you would expect or that you would want. So that tends to make people feel that you're not as emotional as you are. And that might be a disadvantage. I don't know. But for me, like I said, that's how I process my thoughts. And it's helped me because few people would say they've seen me ever angry. And angry in that sense of like upset, shouting at the top of my head, screaming and those kind of, it's very rare to see me like that. Like it would take a whole lot. Even I can't remember in my adult life if I've been in that kind of situation anytime in the recent past. And that's not to say I have not found myself in situations where I could have reacted like that. But luckily for me, I actually did emotional intelligence. So I actually took it as a course because I needed to not just understand, because like I said, I've always naturally been a thinker and overthinker self sometimes. But I wanted to understand the process of it. I wanted to understand the science of it, so to speak. Because anything that is a course, let me put it that way, anything that is big enough to be an actual course that people can take, then that means it's something that a lot of people have sought knowledge for, a lot of people are curious about. So I decided to actually do it as a course so that I could understand the principles of it, so to speak. And I would say it's very dear to me and it's very important to me because I've mentioned in previous episodes, self-respect is a big deal for me. Self-respect, mutual respect, it's a big deal because I feel like at the core of every human being, that's what we all crave, basically. Outside of maybe acknowledgement, being seen, being heard, and whatnot, at the core is that you want to be respected. Because if I want to be seen, I want to be acknowledged, it's because I want to be respected. And for that to happen, we can't all just go about behaving anyhow that we feel like behaving just because we feel certain things. And because sometimes, and that's why I don't really get when people try and use certain emotions to excuse their behaviors. It shouldn't, it's your emotion. You should be in charge of it. It doesn't stop you from feeling the emotions. And I would reiterate that it doesn't stop you from feeling the emotion. If anything, you shouldn't even try to suppress the emotion. Ride the wave. If you're feeling angry, be angry, but just don't react. Process it internally first because you have to understand why you are angry. So the same situation can happen to two or three of us, for example, but our takeaways will be different. So I might feel a certain way about it, and the next person doesn't even remember the incident because it made no difference to them. Whereas I left feeling like, oh my God, that was such a this, that was such a that. I have to process what about that situation maybe triggered me or made me feel the way that I felt. So that, because I can't control how people would act towards me, I can't control what will happen to me. The only thing I can control is how I react to it. So that's the only thing I have control of. And part of the whole genesis of this journey is accepting that fact, which is there's so many things out of my control. But the little that is in my control, which is my life, I want to take full charge of it. I want to take full ownership of it. And that largely starts with your emotions and your mindsets. If you can't take charge of those two things, then you can't take charge of your life because those two things drive you without you even realizing. A lot of times, it's like the way if you know someone who gets irrationally angry, and I use the word irrationally in the sense that there are some people that when they're angry, they can kill someone. And then when that anger has gone, they are now remorseful or they are surprised that their reaction was that explosive. Like, I keep wondering, like, that's when they'll say, oh, maybe something took over. Like, it was like an out of body experience. They couldn't explain. It was like another spirit took over their whole psyche. They didn't realize when they were breaking the TV, breaking this, breaking that. I'm like, on top anger, kwa. Then when you now finish getting angry, who's going to replace all those things that you broke? You say because you were angry, you destroyed the house, smashed the house. And when you finish now, your eye clear. You have to now rebuild just because you had 5 minutes or 10 minutes of anger that you could not control or you couldn't put in check. Ah, it's tough. I can't understand it too. So maybe because I'm not like that, it's hard for me to understand. I get it, and I won't say I can't understand it. I can't excuse it because there are ways to work on those things. Some people need professional help, without a doubt. Some people need things like maybe anger management classes and those kind of stuff. But I'm talking about just our daily, day-to-day emotions and learning to regulate it because I feel like it drives us a lot more than we realize or a lot more than we're aware of. Because there are some people that have burnt bridges just based off of not knowing how to regulate their emotions in the moment. There are times that you don't even say stuff, but Your entire face or body has communicated what you want to say. When you want to tell somebody that you are very stupid, these points that you made now, does it make sense? You did not say it, but the look on your face, the person self knows, say, this girl just insults me now, but we take it. That's okay. I didn't say anything. But you got the message. That's it. It's part of the, yeah. So it's not saying, and I think one of the things that stood out to me clear when I did take this course was, luckily for me, the facilitator that took this course. So I did mine at Emotion City, Emotions Doctor Yinkosola Alabi. She's one of those people that is very, I would say, blunt, outspoken. So it was never a case of, oh, because you want to be emotionally intelligent, then you have to be then you have to be meek and mild mannered and whatnot. No, 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 no. You just have to be clear about how you communicate. It's not saying that you should suppress your feelings or suppress your emotions because you don't want to cause a scene or because you don't want to react. No, 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 no. It's not that I will not react. It's not that, how will I put it? It's not that I won't react. It's more that I want to respond. And I want to respond in a way that is true to who I am or who I'm trying to be. So if you do something that upsets me, I will take my time to think about it and process it because I want to figure out what exactly about that thing upset me. It might not necessarily have been your actions. Maybe it's something else in my own past that was triggered. So you know the way like I'll give an example. You're dating someone who is very possessive. They want to know where you are all the time. They want to sort of monitor your steps. It's not necessarily because you have given them reason to distrust you. It's probably because they've had experiences in the past where they feel like they now need to, as a protective mechanism, they now need to sort of police their partner just so that they avoid some maybe heartbreaks or whatnot. So it's not about you, it's that person's past experience that they're now projecting onto you. So it's the same thing. Someone's actions might not be what upset me, it might have just triggered something else in my past that now brought some emotions to the surface. So I have to deal with that. I have to process that before I can now say I'm snapping at you or shouting at you. Because when I finish processing it, I might realize that, okay, this person didn't really do anything bad. Oh. It's just me that I have not dealt with this particular maybe trauma or whatever. In that situation, there's no point having a conversation. But if I didn't take that time to process, then I'll just unleash that trauma on the person and they're just there confused, like, hold up. What happened just now? And that's when they say maybe you went from 0 to 100. Just like that. So for me, I genuinely believe that being able to take charge of your emotions is the key step in taking charge of your life, because that is one thing that you don't even realize how much it's controlling your behavior, how much is controlling your personality, how much is controlling how people see you and how people perceive you. There are certain people that, let me say, maybe even in an office environment, you have some colleagues that people are like, don't go miss that one, no, you go just, they have not even approached you, but they already know this is how this one is going to react. So imagine certain opportunities that they're not even going to come and meet you because you have given that vibe of maybe you are unapproachable or you are constantly snapping or shouting. So naturally, if I want to come and talk to you, I will hesitate because I'll be like, before you go and meet this one now, you start shouting at you even before you say anything. So even if it's for something good, I will still hesitate to come and meet you because maybe my interactions with you are always so violent and aggressive. And it's not me you are angry at. Maybe you're angry at the world or the house you left. Somebody annoyed you at home before you left the house. But then you carry that annoyance to the office and everybody in the office must hear. That day, anybody that interacts with you must collect. Is it my fault that your wife annoyed you in the house or your husband annoyed you in the house, and you now go out and now unleash that frustration on everybody else? You want to make everybody experience the bad day that you are having. Why? But the day you're having a good day, you will not spread the cheer. Oh. But when it's a bad day now, you want to circulate it like gifts. Make all of us collect. Why? Why? So, yeah, I feel like if we took charge of our emotions, the world will first of all be a nicer place, a calmer place. Yeah, yeah. And it still doesn't mean that we won't have drama, because some people are addicted to drama. So they always feel like, oh, if I become emotionally intelligent, that means I'll not have this spice, this. No, 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 no. You will still have it. It's just, it comes in a different format. So instead of me shouting irrationally, I'm clear when I tell you, no, 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 no. It's like enforcing your boundaries. I don't need to shout to enforce my boundaries. I just jump and pass. I move away. I've spoken without speaking. Yeah. The way they say no is a complete sentence. I don't have to explain my no to you. If you do certain things to me that don't sit well with me, and I feel like this is not a conversation we need to have, or we've had this conversation too many times for me to want to have it again. It's just, nope, this is not happening. And I will just remove myself from that situation. I don't need to have that conversation. If you notice and then you approach me, then we can discuss it. But if you don't notice, that's fine. I've removed myself from a situation that I did not like. I don't have to explain it to you. I don't have to explain why. It's for my sanity, it's for my peace of mind. And those things are more important than you, than anybody, than anybody. So the priority for me is my sanity, is my peace of mind, is my, mhm, is creating an environment for myself where I'm happy with my own company and I'm happy with the choices that I'm making. So I won't always get it right. And I keep saying that. I won't always get it right. Even in the next 5 years where I might feel like I know more or I know better, I will still make mistakes. I will still fuck up. The difference now is I'm not making choices without thinking about it. I'm now making choices because I'm thinking about it. Does not mean that those choices are always right, but at least there was a process to those choices. So if I choose to have a bad day, it's a choice. I choose to have a bad day. There are days you wake up and you don't feel like doing jack shit. But because you know that maybe you have responsibilities, you have commitments and all those things, you get up, dress up, and go out and show up and do what needs to be done. That's you putting yourself in the frame of mind to get those things done. That's emotional intelligence. That's regulating your emotions. Because you can choose to go with the feeling of, I don't feel like doing shit today. Or you can choose to go with the feeling like, something happened, I have an excuse. I don't have to do this. It's a choice. It's a choice. So the fact that you feel how you feel, it doesn't make it valid or invalid. It's just your responsibility to walk through those feelings or those emotions and then now decide how you want to deal with it. So I'd say, for example, with something as big as grief, so whether it's the loss of a close friend, family, or whatever, we all process it in different ways. We deal with it in different ways. You see certain people, it seems like they've moved on so quickly. Maybe because they're not necessarily talking about it all the time, or they're not, yeah, they're not going about showing that loss or that weight, the weight of the loss in their everyday actions and demeanor and whatever. So you assume that this person just moved on after her father died or after her mother died. But you don't realize what is going on internally. They just choose not to project all that pain and suffering on everybody else. Or they've chosen to deal with it themselves because they realize that people can't really help you apart from comfort you every once in a while. There's nothing they're going to do for you apart from that. Whatever they're going to do will not negate the work you have to do on the inside. You have to process those feelings, the loss, the regrets, the pain, the anger, whatever it may be. You have to process those feelings and you have to go through each and every one of them. You know, the way they say there are different stages of grief. So, yes, you have the loss, you have regrets sometimes because there are things you wish you had said or things you wish you hadn't said or done or whatever. There are times that you wish you had more time with the person or, those kind of things. Sometimes you even get to the point of anger Like, why did this happen? Sometimes you question God, like, God, how could you have taken this person away from me? How could you have done this? How could you have done this? All those feelings are valid, but you have to process them. And you have to ensure that while you're processing them, you are not projecting on other people. Because the fact that you lost someone close to you does not stop life from going on. So while you lost somebody, another person is getting married, another person is giving birth, another person is celebrating something. So will you say that they should dim their celebration because you went through a loss? Come on. So it's the same way me too. I can say it, you can get over your loss because I'm celebrating. You should be happy for me. So instead of crying about that thing that you lost or that person you lost, you should be celebrating that, oh, this good thing happened to me. It's vice versa. If you expect me to dim down my happiness because you're in grief or you're in sorrow, then vice versa. Me too, I can expect you to up your own sorrow to happiness because me too, I'm happy. Eh? So it's part of it. So that's why I say you can't project on people. And it's not because they won't support you. It's just that it's unfair to expect them to carry the burden that you're not willing to carry for yourself. I have to process these emotions going through me or that I'm going through. And now expect that my partner or my close friend or my mother or my sister or whatever should understand. But you know that because I lost my job, you should know that my head is going to be in different place. How do I know that? How do I know that the job you lost is not a blessing in disguise? How do I know that you're not thanking God that they finally sacked you from that job because you didn't know how to tell them you don't want to do again? How do I know? So to another person, that loss of job might be the end of the world, but to another person is answered prayers. So another person is an opportunity for them to finally dust their CV and go and look for something that they genuinely like or enjoy. So we assume a lot of things and expect that people are mind readers just because, which is why I assume that you should know that I'm angry now from what you did. How am I supposed to know you're angry? This thing does not make me angry, so why should I think that it will make you angry? So yeah, basically it's saying that whatever it is you're going through, it's your responsibility to process it. It's your responsibility to figure out why it's making you feel the way it's making you feel. And that's the part that we shy away from. We don't like to look into our mind. We don't like to look into the inside because sometimes we don't like the truth that comes out of it. We don't like it. But sometimes you find out things about yourself that you didn't even know. Sometimes you don't like those things. Let me not lie to you. A lot of times, the things we don't like about ourselves are the things we judge in other people. Because when I judge you for doing something, it's either I do those things secretly or have the tendency to do it, but maybe fear or home training or upbringing or something, environment will not allow me. And then you have the audacity to do this thing boldly and loudly. I'll be judging you and condemning you. Meanwhile, somewhere deep down in my heart, I wish I had the courage or the liver to do the thing. Or I hate the fact that I also want to do the thing, in as much as maybe I know it's bad or I don't like it. You see how sometimes it's very, yeah, it can be a bit complicated, but simplify it. And that simplifying it means that you have to be you have to sit with yourself more than you want or more than you expect. So a lot of the answers we're looking for outside of us usually are in us to begin with. We just need to sit with it and process it pretty much. So why do I get upset when someone does something to me? I don't know. I can't stop the person. I can stop maybe a particular person from doing something to me if we're close enough and I can tell you, oh, I don't like this thing. Please don't do it to me. But that will not stop other random people from doing the same thing to me. I can't go about telling everybody, please, I like when I enter some place, everybody should stand up and do attention. They don't know. So when they see you, they'll greet you the way they greet everybody else. But you are expecting that as you enter the place, everybody stands up and they are doing shansa, 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 shansa. So you want to be going about being angry every day because people are not doing shansa to you. You get it. But if you realize that I can't control the people around me, What I can do is I can tell the people in my immediate vicinity. So maybe the people in my house or the people in my office say, me, I like Shonsa. So as I'm entering, be doing Shonsa, Shonsa. So if those are the only people that you can control, no problem. Give them directive. But everywhere else, you Shonsa yourself. If they don't Shonsa you, you Shonsa yourself. So as you're coming out of your car, entering the place, in your mind already be doing Shonsa, Shonsa, Shonsa. So if they don't Shonsa you, you have given yourself that boost of validation that you're expecting from outside. And that's you doing what works for you. If people don't clap for you, you clap for yourself. If they don't celebrate you, you celebrate yourself. That's the part you have control over. I don't have control over what other people will do. So I want to control my emotions so that I don't cut who didn't, I don't bleed on who didn't cut me. They say hurt people hurt people. So just saying, things will happen that you don't have any control over. The only thing you can control is yourself, how you react to it. So, like I said, I want to be the same person everywhere. I want to react the same way in any situation. And it's also part of God's plan for us because that's why you read stories, I'll say in the Bible, when they say Jesus slept through the storm. It's not because he didn't know that there was a storm. It's not because he didn't feel the turbulence. It's not because he did not know that, oh, this storm can capsize the ship or it can destroy our lives or whatever. But because he knew that him worrying, it's not going to change that storm from happening. It's not going to change it. If that's the day that we're going to die, that's the day we're going to die. So whether you're shouting or crying or laughing or whatever, it's not going to change it. It is what it is. So might as well. So yes, I want to be able to sleep through a storm without being worried because the outcome is not in my hand. It really isn't. So why should I put that burden on myself instead of handing it over to God? Say, oh yeah, Baba, now your hand the day, this storm now, they'll catch us from nowhere. What are we going to do? Whether we survive it or not, only you knows. And it has nothing to do with your expertise, your skill set, because whether you are calm or not, that storm is still it will still run its course. So you not reacting is not that you don't understand maybe the might of the storm. It's just that you realize that you're putting yourself in an unproductive state is not going to change anything. So instead of fretting and worrying, how about I just remain calm and just pray for the best? How about that? It's a better option. I prefer that option. So yes, I would rather that option. And that's part of also saying, because that's me at my core. Some people, that's not them. They will see the easier option. They say, I want that drama option. I want that, yes. In fact, I know one guy, my very good friend's uncle. And I remember back then, he was the troublemaker of the family. Let me put it that way. And everybody just always say, don't try him. Oh. Once he comes out, you know that this whole place will shake because from the gates, you must hear his voice. He's that kind of person. And I remember there was one day we were just gisting. And he was saying, and I was like, how come they say every time you go to a new joint, you must cause trouble? He said, it's a strategy. Oh, let me tell you that because he realized that if he goes to a new spots, let's say a lounge, a joint, restaurant, or wherever. And he knows that this place I'll be coming here regularly. So maybe it's close to my house, close to my office, or their food is good, that kind of place. Say that first day, he must cause one kind of drama. Manager must come out, or owner of the place, whoever is available. They must come out and appease him. He say after that, the next time I go there, now from gates they will begin they greet me because that first time everybody don't mark my face. Say this man troublesome man. So once he comes, just they greet him. They do make sure you don't find his trouble. Oh. I said that he say yes, that it works for him all the time. So imagine labeling him as a troublemaker. Meanwhile, for him, that's his own strategy. Because it just felt, I say, I like preferential treatments. I like them to notice me if I'm going somewhere regularly. And sometimes you are going somewhere regularly and they don't even know you. Maybe one waiter knows you because they see you often enough. But he say, Say, but if I go there and I complain about something, maybe I say, this is your cup. Why is it something? Call me the manager. I'm not taking this. Manager will come now, I beg you, apologize. Bring another cup. Say, next time I come, manager go down, they greet me from the beginning of the street safe. So you can see, some people choose, I say some people choose violence. Yes, some people choose that because it's working for them. It doesn't mean that, and the fact that he does that in particular places might not mean that he's like that everywhere else. Just saying. Might not mean that he's like that everywhere else. He found a strategy that worked for him. So maybe one day there was genuinely a reason to complain. And he saw that after these complaints, every time I come to this place, they treat me special. He replicated in another place. He worked, replicated formula. So to him, that's a winning strategy. You can't tell him otherwise because it has worked for him. Then you will be there sitting and be saying, this guy everywhere. So imagine being his partner, for example, or his friend. So every time we go somewhere, now this my friend go, I know say my friend go fight. He must cause trouble. They must. So if I'm the kind of person that shies away from maybe confrontation or something, I would feel awkward every time he's doing his drama. But maybe that drama gets us free drinks. So I might not want to complain because I know that when the shouts finish now, they will compose something. They might say, oh, please, okay, let's give you something on the house or let's compensate you for this. So as his friend, I might not necessarily like it, but I'm benefiting from it. So you see, I might not say anything because I'm benefiting. I digress. But just say it. And the reason why I digress is because I'm saying that sometimes people act a certain way because it's working for them. So it's the same way, even sometimes when we're the victims of certain circumstances, sometimes we stay the victim because it's working for us. Sometimes we don't move on from situations because it's favoring us. Sometimes we choose not to grow from an experience because it's working for us. Sometimes we don't realize we're still holding on to those things, but in some situations, it's because it's working for us. That's why we're still holding on to it. When it starts to get to the point where it's no longer serving us, that's when we start to now maybe question it or challenge it and say, this thing, time don't reach. I suppose don't let's go now. I suppose don't, yeah. So don't get me wrong. It's not negating that the experience happened. It's not negating the impact the experience had on you. It's not negating the emotions, the feelings, or whatever you went through. It's just saying that you have acknowledged it and you've let it go. And that means you've left it in the past. So it's no longer a baggage you're carrying with you everywhere you go. So you're not triggered. So I'll give an example. Say maybe a lady was raped when she was younger. Maybe in the early stages, it made her feel a certain way about guys. Maybe it made her distrustful about guys. It made her not comfortable around guys anymore. So this was someone that maybe on a normal day, if you and a guy are talking to yourselves and he invites you to his house, you won't think twice because you expect that he would respect himself and vice versa. But if you've gone through that experience of maybe being raped or being molested or something, you now become distrustful. So if a guy says, oh, let's go on, if you no, 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 don't come and pick me. I will meet you there, please. Everybody go your way. I don't even want to be in the car with you. Before you say you want to branch your house now, and then something will happen. Or the guy says, oh, do you want to come over to my place? I can cook dinner. No, 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 no. Please, I beg, I beg, I beg. Public place, public place. So the guy might be wondering, like, what's going on? Like, why is this girl making it seem as if I'm a monster or it's not you. It's the experience she's gone through. Now, she might be projecting on you, but you can't blame her because self-defense has kicked in. In that kind of situation, you can't say she's overreacting. That's your perception. But to her, it's valid because she's blamed herself that, oh, maybe if I'd done these things, that thing might not have happened to me, or that experience might not have happened to me. So she overthinks everything you say, everything you do. She's reading meanings into things that you say or do that you are not aware of because you're not looking at it from the same lens. she's looking at it based off of her experience. So she's overanalyzing everything. But you are here just a jolly good guy thinking, oh, I met a babe I liked. I'm just trying to get to know her and spend some time with her. But she's over analyzing everything. She's overthinking it. So you might, to you, you might say, "Ah, hey, but this thing has happened to plenty of people and let go of it." It's not your letting go. She has to work through it. She has to deal with it. She has to decide when she's ready to let go. It's not even about deciding, it's her body will tell her when she's ready to let go. Her mind will tell her when she's ready to let go. Her entire psyche will tell her when she's ready to let go. Because it no longer becomes a story that she wants to hold on to. Sometimes it might not even be because there's been actual what will I say, any form of breakthrough per se. It might have just been that she's healed from it because she's taking time to sort of envision or analyze what happened, why it happened, and move on from it and forgive herself. Because a lot of it is largely maybe self blame. And then you project that. So the self blame is, oh, maybe I was too trusting, or maybe I was too this, or maybe I was this, or maybe I wasn't this. So you project it on the other person. And that's you allowing those emotions to dictate how you behave without realizing it. So even to her, she might not realize how, I don't want to use, I'm looking for the word to use. And she might not realize how, how she's behaving or the extent to which she is behaving. But the people that are seeing it or the people that are on the receiving end, say, now what, this girl, any small. Before you even say this one, she's ready. So you don't, you can't over process it for her. She has to process it herself and how it works for her. So another person might get over it quicker than the other. There's no timeline, no yardstick to it. So even in your processing your emotions or working through your emotions, it's a you thing. And more often than not, you do that work before you find yourself in those situations. Because it's saying that maybe if I have tendency to get angry quickly. Okay, no, let me even use a practical example. I don't get angry, but I get irritated quickly. So irritated in the sense that I snap quickly. So I'll give you a typical example. If someone is slow, like they're not sharp and not quick on their feet, it gets under my skin because in my mind I'm like, why are you dragging? Like, do sharp, sharp, do sharp, sharp. So sometimes how I communicate with that person might convey that irritation, but I'm not angry. But to them, they just feel like, I can never do anything right. Every time this person, the way they're always just snapping at me, snapping at me, snapping at me. I had to check myself because those things, I just felt like it's part of who I am now. Like I like sharp people. I like people when they do this, or I like people. But we're not all the same. What you say is sharp to another person is slow. So, and I think what triggered that thought was because I was having a conversation with my mom and we're talking about something. I think maybe a driver she had at the time. And I was like, the guy is too slow. Like, he's not sharp. She said, I beg, leave him for me as he's slow. The ones way sharp now, over sharpness, they worry them. It's their time that will be planning how they want to kidnap you or how they want to do this, how they want to. So leave the one way slow, we don't even know anything. Make I teach her what I need. Full stop. And I never thought about it like that because in my mind, I just felt like, you want somebody that jassy, that kind. And she's like, I don't want jassy because jassy sometimes can jassy too much. I don't want, say, leave me with this one. We don't know anything. I beg, I beg. And it made me realize that that thing that to you might be a disadvantage, to somebody else is an advantage. So for her, she was okay with that because she would rather that quote unquote slow. And slow is relative because I'm the one saying they are slow based on my own expectations or how I like to do things. But to another person, it might just be perfect. Another person, it might even be too sharp safe. So when she said that, it made me sit down and think. I was like, really and truly, who are you to say one person sharp or no sharp? Because you safe, another person might be looking and say, This one sef go say she no even know what's up. But in my own mind, I think say I be sharp babe. That's why I say it's relative. So I had to process that and figure out why I got that way when I'm around that. And I realized it wasn't about those people. It's just more because I have a short attention span. So I like to do things quickly so that I can have time to chill. So if you are wasting my time, I feel like you are chopping into my chilling time. So I start to get, because in my mind, I'm like, this thing now, I would have finished it in 30 minutes. This person will not make us be here for 1 hour. Yes, then I start getting irritated. So it's not at you. It's just the fact that I feel like because you are not doing this thing the way I expect or the way I want, you're going to slow us down. So as you are slowing us down, you're slowing me down. So it still boils down to selfishness. It's not about you. It's about me. I want us to be done quickly and move on. So if you're wasting my time, I'm taking it personal. I had to process that. And then I realized that my snapping at the person or being irritated at the person is not going to make them move faster. If anything, they are more likely to make more mistakes because they are trying to do it the way I want. But because it doesn't come naturally to them, they will probably make more mistakes. So instead of making the situation better, I'm probably making it worse. So I learned to chill and I learned to meet people where they are because I also expect that grace from people. I also want people to meet me where I am. I might be sharp in some areas, but not sharp in some areas. I might be knowledgeable in some areas, but not knowledgeable in some areas. So if I expect grace from others, then I also have to give people grace. And in doing that, I learned to regulate my emotion without realizing that was what I was doing. Because I felt like, why would somebody's actions have so much power over how I behave? I didn't want that. So I had to do the work. So I had to figure out what I didn't like about it and why it was triggering for me. And I realized that it was never about the person. It was never even necessarily about the action. It was ultimately about how it affected me. Full stop. Can't make it any easier or any harder. So I had to work through that, which meant if I want someone to do things a certain way, I have to communicate it so that when they do it, they know that, this is how this person wants me to do it. So they can do it that way. That way, we don't have issues. Does it mean they will do it exactly the way I want? No. It just means that it's no longer my problem. This is the result I want to get. How you do it is your responsibility. So I'm no longer putting myself in the problem of I want to follow up with the how. And in the following up with the how, I'm now following and going through all the different. No. We're not doing that. So yeah, some things you let go of, not because they don't affect you or maybe sometimes upset you, but because you realize that it's not doing anything for you, especially not making you better. Not really. If anything, is making you worse. I used to have road rage, as in fact, I loved my road rage. I genuinely loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I can't lie. I can't lie. I still do it. I still do it. It might be in the comfort of my car. You might not hear what I'm saying, but I love it. I don't know why. That's my, especially in this Lagos driving. I not be a sane driver. You have to be madman. Mad. So I love it. We'll be on the road. All of us, they struggle for road. And we even insult, idiot. Did you not see? You think because I'm a woman, you can trust me? Never. We go here. We die here. Yeah. That person might not hear me because my windows are up, their windows are up. But by myself, I'm having that conversation with myself. And when I pass it, I say, idiots. He thought he was going to trust me. I pass her. I finish her. Yeah. Yeah. I'm one of those people. Genuinely. So there was a time in my life driving to work. Ah, God. It took a toll. It took a toll because I was driving in the peak of traffic, in the direction of traffic. So by the time I get to work, and I was not, all this is within Ikeja. It's not as if I was doing a Ikeja to Island. Though. It's within Ikeja, but it's just because of the resumption time, like I said, direction. So I'm going with the traffic. So I'm going from Alausa to GRA to Maryland. So I'm definitely following the traffic. School runs traffic, resumption traffic. So in the thick of it, so by the time I get to the office, I need at least 15 to 30 minutes to recalibrate because the tension is so high. I've dragged road with Agbero, a foolish driver, one woman that was driving like an idiot. I've sworn for their generation. I've cursed people out. By the time I get to the office, I have to center myself back because the energy, the attitude that I used to do all that road rage, I can't just switch it off. I can't just switch it. Also, I have to come back and I just, okay, calm down. We're back. We're at work. We're safe. No, then now starts the day. So imagine that I need 15 to 30 minutes to recenter myself because I drove to work. I drive to work every fucking day. So 30 minutes of my life is first of all gone to just rebooting and coming back to saying Tope from the way on the road to the 30 minutes. 30, a whole 30 minutes. I had to change it. I had to change that because in my mind I was like, why does this have so much control over me? Like, why? Like I said, it's about the control. Like something else cannot have power over me more than me, apart from my God. Nothing else. So I needed to check myself. What about this driving on the road drives you mad? It's still back to slow drivers. They are wasting my time. But the truth of the matter is I left home late. So before I left the house, I was already high tension because that's my 15 minutes drive. Because of the time I left the house now, that 15 minutes is going to become 40 minutes. So already I know that I'm at fault. But I don't want to own up to that fault. So I'm projecting it on all the other drivers on the road. He's driving like a fool. She did not pass. The light is green. Move. So whether she did not move immediately, the light turned green or not, is that going to change the fact that you are late? You are already late. You were late the minute you left the house. You were already late. But because I don't want to accept it, everybody else on the road is driving like an idiot. Everybody else on the road is out to get me. Then send you to me. Nothing that you want to tell me. They sent it to me. It's because because of that driver. That's why I didn't get to the office on time. It's a lie. I didn't leave my house on time. But I need to use that driver as an excuse. So I will justify it by saying it's that driver that was driving like a fool in my front the whole way. Can you imagine? But it's not his fault. If I'd given myself enough time, maybe I wouldn't have gotten into traffic. Or even if I'd gotten into traffic, I wouldn't have been frustrated because I had planned my time. So I'd given myself 30 minutes to get to the office. I'll get to the office in 25 or 20. So I won't be agitated. But if I was already agitated before I left the house, then as if somebody is driving slow in my front, there's no how. I will swear for the person. Because as far as I'm concerned, this one wants to add to my problems. So you see, it's not about them. It's me. So I had to figure it out. So I had to plan my time better. If I leave the house early, if I gave myself enough time to get to the office, more often than not, I won't get into that peak traffic. Because the truth is that peak traffic, all of us now, let's come as day inside. So if you're supposed to resume at 8 and you're leaving your house at 7:30 and you know it will take you 30 minutes at least to get to the office, you're already late. You're already late. So as you're entering the road, you are praying the road is free. Once the road is not free, enemies. You are swearing for everybody, left, right, and center. Idiots. You driving like a fool. Who even gave this one car safe? I had to stop. And I had to do. So don't get me wrong. I still run late. Sometimes I still leave the house later than I planned. But what I did do was work on my psyche. So even when I know that, you're leaving the house late, you're like, however the road is, the road is. If it fast, it fast. If you know fast, it fast. Thank God for Google Maps now. Can actually check where there's traffic and maybe avoid it or pass another route. Makes life easier, but find a solution. So I found a solution because I realized it was never about the other drivers. I can't control how other people drive on the road, but I can control my own mindset. So that I know every time I drive, by the time I get to wherever I'm going, I have to reboot my brain. I have to recalibrate. No, it wasn't working. It worked for a while. I loved it. When I used to drive on Lasso roads, I had to be a full tout. I loved it. It had to be a full tout because it's you and tanker drivers, you and trailer drivers, you and yeah. Well, the road shouting. You will see us tiny, tiny girls will be shouting inside the car. Wegbe, wegbe. I loved it. But that was that situation. That was what that situation warranted. But you can't now use that same attitude or mentality. So come and be driving on normal road, on Allen Avenue, or Awolowo Road, or those kind of things. Who do you want to be shouting wegbe, wegbe for? Eh? So yeah, I digress. But basically, it's just saying that learning to control my emotions changed my life. And this is from someone who is not necessarily extreme in emotion. So I was moody for, I mentioned it in maybe previous episodes. I used to be moody. And that was because I didn't know how to express myself. So I would feel certain things, but I didn't know how to communicate it. Or I would feel like maybe the other person won't get it. So I'll bottle it up. So I seemed like I was easygoing because I bottled a lot of things or because I let a lot of things slide. But as I got older and I started to, I'll say, mature or discover myself more, I realized that being emotionally intelligent is not about swallowing stuff. It's not about bottling things up. It's about learning to communicate clearly without resentment. What it is you like, you don't like, your boundaries or whatever those things are. And that changed my moodiness because I now started expressing how I felt, even if not to the person, but to myself. So that time that I spent to process my thoughts, I've already had a conversation with myself. So even if I don't tell you what you did or didn't do, I've spoken with myself. I've had that discussion. It's almost like I've had the discussion with you. So I've processed the emotions, I've dealt with it, and I've moved on from it. So I wasn't bottling it and just trying to repress it. I was now bringing it out, dealing with it, and then talking it away. So it was easier to talk away. I wasn't sweeping under the carpet. Is we have brought it out, we have analyzed it. It's not worth all this. Okay, go back inside the cupboard. Full stop. And it changed my life. It changed my life because people couldn't push me to behave a certain way. You know the way you say, hey, it's coming, it's coming. Like, just say this to you. See the way we go change. You will see the way we go behave. Never. Cannot be pressing my buttons. No. I press my buttons. I choose if I want to express anger, if I want to express yes. So even if I express my anger, it's intentional because I realize that that's the language you understand, or that's the only way you will get how deeply this thing hurts me or made me feel. It's not for you, for me. I keep saying it. It's for me. So I expressed it because I needed you to know that it's not all the time I'm rational. So I might be rational more often than not, but there are some times that I'm a human being. I'm not a machine. I'm not be robots. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't be the bigger person all the time. So there are times I'm petty as fuck. I love it. I'm petty as fuck because that's what the situation warrants. Because sometimes when people get used to you always being the bigger person, then that responsibility automatically becomes yours. And they want you to always be the bigger person. Fuck that. No. Yeah. No. So, yeah. Even when I do express it, like I said, it's intentional more often than not. So, am I perfect? No. I'm still a human being. If you match my toe, I go react. I will say, no, yeah. Why you watch me? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. It's that balance in the sense that it's not overwhelming you because you don't have control over it. But at the same time, you are calculating enough to know that not every situation warrants a reaction or a response. We just keep it moving. Soft life. And they say, Clark it. I don't get that, but Clark it. Soft life. Yeah, I'm aiming for soft life. I can't have soft life if I'm always reacting to things that happen to me. Let me leave you guys with this soft life. Like, subscribe, comments, and see you on the next episode. Love you. Bye.